Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Jesse Rosinski Show. I hate to, best of the rest. Yeah. Fridays, it's what I do. Everything I couldn't cover, which is just a terrible name because none of it's really actually the best of anything, unless it's the best of the worst kind of stuff. But this is just stuff that deserved to get, heard. There's still really cataclysmic stories about mankind, but until we can come up with something better, this is the best of the rest of the worst. Is everything, well, it's kind of terrible that I talk about. But first, I'm going to get into something that's not nearly as serious as the last two are. And soccer star Megan Rapinoe, we've always heard her for years and years and years now, it seems, just all the time, trying to go for, equal pay and, among female athletes. And, well, in their defense, the disparity is there. And, if we're speaking about, I'm pretty sure the U.S. men's national team just got eliminated again. From whatever it was, because they don't win anything. And it was the women's team that was winning everything, minus that one year when they legit choked. There's no better word for it. But she always has, She has always complained about all kinds of things when it came to women's sports and all that. And just recently said that the real threats to women's sports are lack of funding, media coverage, and unequal pay. And yes, as they're winning more, they probably should actually get, I know I see them all the time doing, commercials and everything. Because, they actually won. Unlike the men's team, who has sucked for, well over a decade now. We just seem to get thumped every time. And she's coming from all that for equal rights for women's sports. Now, she is pushing for the idea of transgender girls to be able to play in girls' sports. Granted, should they be able to play? Yes, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have the right to play. No matter what they are, everyone has, the right to do that. But, my problem is, this, it's not fair then. But before we get into all that, we can't forget that, and she also said that laws banning transgender athletes are political assaults on the LGBTQ community, which, you could always say that to spin it to make, spread hate around everything. But again, is it really, though? They should still be able to play. So before everyone cries and freaks out, they should be able to play. Hell, give them their own thing. But, competing against men in these sports, against women, as biological men. That's what the science in their body, that's what it's what it is. There's no way to get around it at all. It's physiology. All this stuff that we, at least we were taught back when I had to do health classes and stuff. It's pretty basic stuff for all these years. Men are we're just put on more testosterone. Puts on more muscle. Strength, endurance. Why do you think, they put all these, you see all these guys all pumped up. And what are they doing? They're boosting their testosterone. They have estrogen blockers to help, burn more fat and build muscle. They do all these things. Why? Because, it turns out that testosterone is a wonderful thing when it comes to bulking up and putting on muscle. This is ding-dong, duh, kind of science here, and I'm really just saddened that I even have to go over this. But, let's just some quick stuff. Records. Usain Bolt holds all, both of these that I mentioned. Usain Bolt. 100 meter, 9.58. 200 meter, 19.19. Those are the times in those records for the men. Women's records for the 100 is Sha'Carri Richardson at 10.75, which is over a second slower. And then the 200 is Kyra Jefferson. Kyra, hopefully, one of those is right. For the 200 meter is 22.02, which is almost 3 seconds slower than the male's time. And those are the fastest ever, those are the record times. That is why they should be doing it, because they're still technically, men, scientifically. They're not fully over. They still have, everything going on there. Like, they will have that testosterone boost, Nick, which already puts them at an advantage for what they've been building over one. Even to the point if they do fully transition and all that, but if they don't fully transition, then they still have all the free-flowing testosterone. Ergo, they're going to, bigger, faster, stronger. Ergo, it's not fair. Like, I just went over those 2 times there. Over a second for one, and then you double the distance, and it's almost 3-second difference in records. And just with that, you can go into all kinds of other things. I just went very basic and simple that everyone can understand. Just track times for the 100 and 200 meter. Like, I'm sorry, 3-second difference between male and female records? Or let's go with 2.83 before someone, jumps down my throat and tries to get all stupid and technical. Just about 3 seconds. That's a lot of time. It's a whole lot of time. I've seen that 3 seconds be the difference between everyone being done after running a PFT and someone failing their PFT on the run by 3 seconds. And then everyone except the person that failed then has to go on, a death run afterwards to, make us suffer because somehow we didn't get them across the line in time. Pretty sure we did that with Correa twice. And we passed him as we were going back, and he was just walking back to the barracks smoking a cigarette, Any of you people out there that were around then, Sturtevant, Booten, I think Holberg was around, but I don't even know what's happening with him. But you guys were there. Tell me if I'm right, if you're even, listening to any of this. But, there's just a disparity between anatomy and how, that actually works. And, stuff like her saying this and going out was just completely just, scientifically, just that right there proves it. Call it what you want, but there's, no comparison. The ability to compete against them is nowhere near the same. And she's always barking about how, she doesn't get any respect, and she never earns any respect. Well, how come you just stop saying dumb stuff like this? Because every good thing you do, Megan Rapinoe is kind of like AOC. Every good thing she does, she then goes and sticks her foot in her mouth about 100 times. And puts us in the situation we're in now with this because, some people, they just don't know how to shut up, I guess. I don't know. Listen, I'm running my mouth. I'm making sense and going off of, actual science and physiology, health, stats. Call me crazy, but, I go off all the stuff that shows all this stuff. Like here with world records and, basic physiology and health class stuff that anatomy, difference between men and women, hormones and all that, going over all these things. And, it's basic, and that's why you don't get any respect, 'cause you just don't ever shut up. Some of the stuff you say is really good, and then there's stuff like this where you're just an idiot. World records, 3-second difference between male and female. I'm pretty sure there wasn't 3 seconds between, first and last in the men's race. Which means, what, if they run 8 people, the 8th fastest person on the track that day when he set the record was still faster than the fastest woman? The difference between, here and, you get to the first woman on the list is ridiculous. So, again, I'm not against it. Let them play. It's some kind of thing, but to actually, be in real competition, it is, and they just have extra. They can go in there and think about that. They go, they identify as a woman, so they give them the record. They go in there physically a man, and they're gonna go they can go and shatter that record, without, easily, just by nature and science and what their bodies do. That's my problem with it. Equal rights, whatever, but that. Just because you identify as a woman doesn't mean you are one, and your body makeup is different because you're not a woman and you're a man, and people might hate me for it. I have nothing against transgender people. Whatever makes you happy. If you're not shoving it down my throat, trying to make me do it and all that, do you. But don't go and try to jump into female sports because there is a disparity between the two. And it has been proven time and time again. Don't know why people don't understand that. I know our, schooling, ranks in the world are cataclysmically low because everyone's stupid now. Apparently, they're not teaching basic things like this anymore. But yeah, that's my problem with it. And her. Get any respect if you're just going to blurt out stupid stuff like this all the time when the clear facts and basic science that we've had for, I don't know, ever is there telling you that you're an idiot and you're wrong. Sorry, those are just facts. If you don't like it, tough, because, well, it's the actual facts. Then we're going to move into, another fun thing. It's not nearly as catastrophic, but yeah. How everyone on the left, this is pure shout out to the left, because they've been attacking the right, even to this week, calling us all fearmongers, all the, this, that, and the racist, everything. Well, granted, they're the one that brings race into everything, but like they call us all fearmongers. Look at them just spreading all this fear and stuff. Oh my God. Like they've been doing it for years over illegal immigration, against voting this, voter suppression. No matter what, they always say we're driving up the fearmonger to keep their base, incited and psychotic, which, it's horrific. Projecting, by the way, for anyone that has a brain in between their ears, but, there we are, now, the CDC Director warning of a potential fourth wave, and she says that she feels impending doom when it comes to COVID. That doesn't sound like you're pushing fear to the max to your base and the people that listen to you. And they don't know what else you want to call it. That isn't pushing fear and fear-mongering. Then apparently fear-mongering is not a real thing anywhere in the entire world, ever. And tell everyone to, stand clear, don't do anything crazy, because you have a feeling of total impending doom coming. That's going to help. That's not making people scared for their lives at all, people have been doing for forever. But I'm the fear-mongering crazy person. Guess what? It's a virus. Look up the history of viruses. They come, they go. They make different variants of themselves, which is why, look how effective all the flu vaccines really ever are. Now, people still get it after getting the vaccine. This is a brand new virus. What the hell did you expect? That's an honest question. It's what they do. I know how this works. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to come. I'm, getting my information from, I don't know, centuries of viruses and us figuring all the stuff out. What they do when they become more prominent, with seasons, all those, different things that, happen all the time, I might add. All the time. Which I'm going to shake and they're going to say that I'm disabled like Trump or something, but all the time. And there they are, fear-mongering like a SOB. That the fourth wave is coming and you feel impending doom all the time. Yeah, but that's not doom and gloom. Oh. You want to know how I don't feel yes, it very well is going to happen because different variants are coming. Obviously from all over the world, across borders. I think Brazil had a crazy one. South Central America had their own variants, and they're now coming up. But the big one on it is that the same woman, with how many how many millions of people have been vaccinated, and how many people have caught it and recovered, which means they should have natural, and a natural immunity to it. They should have the antibodies in their body from having it and recovering. And she even says that vaccinated people can't and don't carry the virus, which means ergo they should all be good. 100% they should be good. So how about you spread the good news? Tell people to still be careful because, no matter where they are, I know people in all states, no matter what their things are, that they're still wearing their masks, washing their hands, doing basic things. There's some people that don't wear masks. Guess what? Those people are never going to wear masks no matter how much you mandate it or whatever you do. Sorry. It's the way it is. It's people are going to do illicit drugs and have illegal firearms and rob people's houses and steal cars and people do what they want. Now, is not wearing a mask anywhere near as severe as that? Hell no. But people aren't going to wear them. There's nothing you can do about it. But think about it. These people are in their impending doom and freaking out, right? Absolutely freaking out. All of them are. From, the head of the CDC to Fauci to all of them. There's another wave coming. Don't let your guard down. Okay. Well, all these same people have had nothing to say about one major situation going on. At least I think it's pretty damn major. It's the whole thing at the border where they're showing you a 9, 10+% positive rate in some of the facilities. And even the facilities that are at, 1,600 capacity. 1,600% capacity. Like, not 100%, 1,600. They're 16 times over maximum where they should be because of COVID. And, they're getting released a couple days in. They're getting sent, around the country. And, they're not saying a word about that. Like, if there was really, this bad thing, there's people coming from places where there are bad variants that haven't made it here yet, and they're just putting them in these things. People are being positive. People are getting sent away. I keep looking over there because I'm ready for the dog to go off like a hand grenade for no reason, because Daisy hates me. She has to. But, 1,600% capacity. All these people coming from bad places where variants we probably don't even know about. And all this. But they're letting them, stay at 1,600% capacity with, even with the positivity rate, which means a lot more people are going to get sick and then release them into the country. And there's some of them that literally aren't getting tested at all. And we're saying, where the hell do you think these things are coming from? It's from your own stuff, but you're using your own, shortcomings and stupidity, which is going to put this stuff in, if it, it very well could. Some of these people, you've seen people test negative and test positive in the afternoon. They get out of there, they're clear, they go wherever they're going. Boom. Suddenly they are feeling it, and they can spread it along. But you don't hear anyone mentioning that. And especially people at 1,600% capacity in these facilities and opening more and more and just cramming people in everywhere. That's the worst thing possible you could do for, COVID. You're not allowed to go to your own parents' house or functions or funerals or all the stuff that they didn't let people do. All last year, indoor dining in a lot of places, all that. But they're letting these capacities run at this without saying a word. While they're undermanned and, overstuffed. That's why I have a hard time believing anything they're saying. Because if there really was that big of a problem, they'd be saying something about that. Because that's the biggest cluster we have going right now. In the whole country. Because everyone else, they still have things. People are coming from the middle of nowhere. God knows if they have a different strain, variant, if they actually have it. I'm not saying they all do and they're releasing it, but, we have seen people do where they, test negative in the morning, then they're positive by the evening. If they get released in that amount of time sent somewhere, if they're on a bus or something, they can give it to other people. It can cause a very large problem. But if they're not talking about those facilities, then guess what? All of us regular folks really shouldn't be that concerned about her impending doom. And Fauci's saying it's going to go on for forever. Well, what they're doing right now with that, it seems like they want to have it go on forever, and they're going to keep doing that to keep it going on forever for more control. But I'll get told I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I think I'm one of the smartest conspiracy theorists people out there ever. I get called a conspiracy theorist, but I actually look up data and think, and critical thinking skills. And even after getting hit by the damn truck and bouncing my grape off a Western, apparently my brain still works better than all sorts of people that have never had any head trauma or any reason to be as just thick as they are. But they still are. Can't do anything about it, sadly. We can do stuff like this and try to tell them, but there's no helping people. They like to make us all miserable and cranky and cantankerous and psychotic. All the time. Then we get to psychotic. Let's get on to the last one. This is a catastrophically serious thing. Heard about it a couple days ago. I was waiting for more details to come out. Now it's the end of the week for this, so let's get on with it. About that 38-year-old man attacking the 65-year-old woman in New York. Can you straight up see the video where he just kicks her straight in the stomach to knock her over and then stomps on her head a few times. Best part was the people in, apparently the high rent apartment building there. You can see three of them on the camera as it's happening. Do nothing, and then when he walks away, they go and lock the door. Don't do anything to help the lady who just got kicked in the stomach and her head stomped into the concrete a few times. Like, that's super, super classy, by the way, to sit there and let that happen. And, of course, they're suspended right now while it's investigated in conjunction with their unions, which we all know that's probably going to work out just like all other unions. No harm, no foul. But, this guy who did this was already, on lifetime parole for fatally stabbing his mother in 2002. Here's a great question. Someone fatally stabs their mother. I'm pretty sure he got out in 19. Why in the hell are they out of prison 17 years later? Because what do you know? Here's, not everyone reoffends, but a lot of them do. If you fatally stab your mother to death, there's very few reasons why you're doing that except for you're just a scumbag. Sorry, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're a scumbag. And you go and prove that by kicking a 65-year-old Asian woman in the stomach and then stomping her head into the concrete while using anti-Asian, slurs towards her while you're doing it. I don't know who the bigger scumbag is. Obviously him, because he stabbed his mother to death, and then this. But him or the dumpster fires that were inside the building that just sat there, just stood by and watched it. And then after he, they didn't do anything to stop it. And then after he walked away, they walked over and locked the door. They didn't go to assist her or help her in any way. They just left her there. How big of a dumpster fire piece of garbage of a human being do you have to be to sit there and watch that, and your only response is to go and close and lock the door of your building and not go and help her at all after he walks away? I don't like people at all. I've never liked people. It's not really a mystery. I don't like people. And I think that that's scummy. Actually, really, them just standing by and watching it and not doing a damn thing except going over and locking the door after he walks away. That might actually be scummier, because at least this guy's just apparently, psychotic. He's broken inside. He's got something that ain't right. You stab your mother to death, and then you do this. Apparently, you got something wrong. There's some deep-seated, just stupid built up inside of you. But just sitting there and watching a 65-year-old woman get kicked in the stomach and then her head stomped into the concrete, and you do absolutely nothing, even after it's over, but lock the door. I'm sorry. The people that stood there and watched, they deserve to be a lot more than suspended. I'm sure they're still getting paid while they're suspended. Because the union. Not all unions are terrible, but a lot of them are. But getting paid to sit at home after that, I'm sorry. You're a dumpster fire. You're a garbage human being. You deserve to be, thrown down an elevator shaft or something. Maybe you deserve to get kicked in the stomach and have your head stomped in. While everyone just sits there and stares at you is apparently, it's okay for people to do that and people to just stand by and watch. You are an absolute piece of garbage to just sit there and watch that happen. I don't care. Know the person or not. There's enough of you. You could have went and done something. You could have done something after he left to make sure she was okay. You could at least go and check. Even if you call 911. It's kind of nice to go and tell them something. Yes, they're still breathing. They're still doing, do something. Make sure that, I don't know, not dead, they can breathe. You stand there and watch. You're beyond worthless. I really don't have a word for it that's not just a long line of vulgarities. So I'm going to skip doing that. But that had to be the most asinine and ridiculous thing I've seen in a very long time, and that's saying something. A whole lot of something, actually. You're worthless. Do the world a favor. Not going to finish that sentence, but those of you can catch my drift. With that being said, I appreciate the listen. I appreciate that we've made it to 57 episodes of this. Can't believe we made it that far. So, enjoy your weekend. Make sure you like, share, comment. Sharing helps. Commenting, tell me what you think helps. Share it out so other people can see it. Grow the audience one day, I'd love to get it big enough so I could justify, getting the website up. So we can get rid of all this, social media garbage As it is, like just stop doing that and post it all onto one thing so we could have everything right there and we don't have to worry about it. Remember, Jesse Rosinski Show. If you want the video, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. If you want to hear the audio version of this show that I do separately, same stuff, just differently with ads for my sponsors because I actually have one. Same name across Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, Google Podcasts, and Breaker. I had to count them out on my fingers to make sure I didn't forget any. But I appreciate it again. Even if you don't just follow along on everything. Just it'll help me out, help you out, help other people find it. So, again, follow and share away. Let me know what you think. Enjoy your weekend if you can. Make the most out of it. Have a good time. And until Monday, peace.